Hey guys, Costa here. I'm gonna go over Warlock Capture the Flag. This is a game type I've had actually a lot of frustrations playing with on the hardcore public servers or even in our picking teams lobbies because not a lot of people seem to have a good idea of how to of generally what to do off their spawn and how to be proactive and actually work towards a cap on this map. Um, so to start, similar to our other symmetrical maps, we're going to draw our spawn line down the middle between blue and red base. And we're going to just take the perspective of being on red team, so we're going to be trying to capture blue team's flag. But unlike the other maps, I'm not drawing this black line all the way across because we need to consider the other spawn hives, which you have red flag and green flag. Also to note, we're using blue portal, red portal, green portal, yellow portal as whatever side the lift's on. So it would traditionally be the red lift portal is red portal, green lift portal is green portal, etc., etc. And that's the colors that match up in the Halo Online version of the map. So to start, what I want to talk about is an ideal flag cap, and really this is what you're working towards. Warlock is rarely as pretty as it can be, or as some of the other maps, and a lot of flag caps are gonna have to be scrappy. But there's a general working that teams should be moving towards in order to cap flags. So for our team, we're gonna use this dark red color. So job one is to get someone into their base. So the easiest way to do that is to use the red blue portal link. Um, and kind of being the guy in their base who's going to be running into the objective. Another job is an anchor. This can be either on the yellow or green side, but just for we'll start it on the yellow side, and there are different flag runs that you can do depending on where the anchor is. So this being said, you have one, you have two. The the yellow and green portals provide a really good angle and a lot of movement for slaying. So, uh, especially like regardless of game type, this is the stronger portal side because it has cover and it's a lot harder to kill someone in it. So this is just one player who has the ability to go back and forth. So we have that. And this is going to be your main Slayer role. Someone should really get used to on a particular team just flying back and forth between these two portals because it is such a strong slaying position. So we have three players. The fourth one kind of is a rover in the sense that they're usually dead because of very rarely in this map will it be 4 dead versus 4 alive. So what you should be considering this player is a secondary player who should be rushing towards their flag. But we're just going to pretend we have this type of a setup when our flag run starts. So we have this type of setup when the flag run starts. We can assume the opposing team is going to be getting spawns in green base because we're anchoring red. Because they're spawning in green base, we don't want to have the flag run to green base. We want to have the flag run either this way or over top middle. The top middle run hasn't seen a lot of success in Halo Online. I think that's partly because in order to get it to work, you need to be proactively pulling the flag. So you can't get them 3 or 4 dead and then run the flag. You need to start running the flag while your teammates are actively slaying them to get the top mid run to work. So we're just going to focus on the other one. Top mid run's pretty self-explanatory, just running across, and it's still defended the same way by your other teammates. So we're running this way, and then really we have an option. Do we go into the teleporter, which is probably the fastest way to gather the flag? Do we run underneath or with the nades? And this is kind of dependent on what your team's doing. And really how the slaying is going. So if the team spawns green flag, the Slayer should be on the green side to be able to shoot that way. He's going to want to sit in the side and really do as much damage as he can. The big mistake that a lot of teams make is they leave their anchor where he should be. As soon as the other team starts spawning on this green side, the anchor needs to move to top middle. This is the big thing that a lot of people don't do, and if this player does not move to top middle, it screws everything up. It becomes a really passive run, and there's no way you're going to be able to actively slay them, and this cap is all about actively slaying them and trapping them on spawn. So this guy's going to run to top middle, whether this guy comes across this way, the flag runner comes across the back, or through the teleporter. Either way, this guy's covering, and our last guy is going to be somewhere around our base. Ideally here, and this is usually going to be one of your spawners. So this should be dark red. This should be one of your spawners, like I said. And his job is to either receive the flag, if the flag run has brought us, let's say, underneath, and then throw it up to him, or to be very proactive, this angle of slaying that way and killing the blue guys who are going to be flooding out of the base generally this way, covering the portal. So the portal's good if you are very quick on actively slaying the other team, or if you get the flag out fast. The other side of it is this is a harder cap. You definitely need a receiver here. So what I'll often do if I'm this flag guy, I'll stop the flag here on the run and look back and slay. So if the flag guy is able to look back and slay, then you get that second slay through, then it's an easy cap just to go through the portal. They're either going to spawn in yellow or blue base, and you can just portal through, lift up, and cap. So let's talk about what happens if we're anchoring the other side. Alright, let's see. So if they have blue base, and we are anchoring red base, so they're spawning in the yellow base. We don't want to run it at yellow. We do want to run it this way. And I'll make this light red. This is a safer run. It's honestly ideal to be running it this way. It's pretty safe, and they have a lot of work to do. And the reason this side's better is because you have your lift. You need to be almost always throwing the flag up the lift side. It's a lot safer. So if you're doing that, this is the safer direction, safer side to be on, because it's a lot harder to shoot the flag runner coming across that way. So you have that run, and you also have the same portal run. The portal run I recommend if you're quick to the flag. If you're quick to the flag and portal through while they're still spawning here, and you know that, hey, I have the extra 2 or 3 seconds to get the flag through for an easy cap up that way, then life's good. Otherwise, you'd be running it this way. Again, it's the same idea. It's symmetrical. Our green guy's our anchor is gonna run the top middle. Our portal guy's gonna be on their side, and he's gonna be watching them as they come across. And the flag guy again, or the receiver, is gonna be the one hitting the flag this way. So he's looking here. He's looking here. We're playing a little bit more passive, and this is being aggressive. And then once he gets weak, staying alive in this area, watching the ramp, watching this way. So those are our 2 side flag runs, depending on which side is anchored. The key factor is using that weak side portal guy effectively and keeping him alive, not leaving the anchor in the base. The anchor needs to be proactive and go to top middle. And ideally having that last player who likely died in the setup getting back to your base for receiving, or just assisting the slaying in whatever way they can, and just making themselves as relevant to the play as possible. So those are our 2 flag captures. One of the important things to consider is really what to do off your spawn if you're in the other side. So let's drop all this out. And let's say we are blue team here. What blue team needs to do, what a lot of people do is they start getting frustrated and they end up having everyone sitting on the weak side, whether it be yellow or green. and they just off their spawn they'll just sit there, try to stay alive, whatever it may be. The most important thing to do here is to spread out. You need to usually the first 1 or 2 players should immediately drop out, get into the nades, either try to find their way into a teleporter or stay alive under a ramp, but just spreading out. And you don't want them to have to make a single call. You want the opposing team to say, hey, listen, there's a guy who went to green portal, there's a guy who went under red base, there's a lot of things that could have happened. If they're just giving a call out that, hey, they're spawning yellow, and that's all they have to say, then something's gone horribly, horribly wrong, and you need to talk to your first 2 guys on spawn. So that being said, you don't want everyone to blindly charge out like that. It's nice to designate one player as an anchor, and keeping that anchor alive on the health pack side is really nice. It's a lot hard. You're more proactive in the damage you can do versus the damage you're receiving on health pack side. And if you do have a keyboard and mouse player on your team, I recommend designating them as the player who is the anchor. They're the one who's going to off spawn. He's going to be the one sitting back, not having to deal with the close range BR fights, and someone who can do a lot of damage at range. So being able to spread out off the spawn, just trying to kill the flag carrier, kill the guy top middle. There's a lot of things that you can do depending on the situation, but just having the general plan of, these 2 guys, first 2 are going to be dropping out at the base and trying to spread out as fast as possible. Ideally going together, but whatever it takes to stay alive. And then designating one of the last 2 spawners to say, hey, listen, you're going to be our anchor, you're going to do as much damage as you can, and stay alive and be frustrating for the other team. So that's all I wanted to cover today. I hope you have a better understanding of Warlock Flag. It's a game type that I personally put a lot of thought into, and improving, especially coming from Halo 2 Anniversary, where there are the different jump ups, and the map makes the map play very, very differently compared to our traditional Warlock setup we have in Halo Online. So good luck getting better at the game type, and hopefully you learned something.